Alright, so today we are going to solve a problem that contains, well, degrees. We have to measure angles. So before you start, you have to have a protractor in order to do this. It's going to be way easier to tell which angles are which, and if you're doing problems on this, you should have this. So this problem here is basically asking us to label the angles. So for instance, let's just say if this were an obtuse angle, we just put an O by it. We're just marking what types of angles they are. But right now we have a problem. We don't know what angles these are. So in order to write the angles, I guess we have to understand the angles. So the first one we're going to go into is an acute angle. So if you go up here, an acute angle is an angle that ranges from 1 degree to 89 degrees. So right here is an example. As you can see, this line is not all the way straight up. A right angle would be like this. Except, as you can see, 89 degrees. Another example is like that. This could be 1 degree, 89, 1. Our next one is our right angle. This is the easiest angle to interpret. It is basically an angle that measures 90 degrees. And you could tell that this is a right angle by making a little box in the corner, and that all the sides, they are the same, 90 degrees. And there's only one, this is like 90 degrees is the only measurement for a right angle. Our last one is an obtuse angle. This is an angle that ranges from 91 degrees to 180 degrees. And everybody knows that a 180 degree angle is a straight line. So an obtuse angle, it can either range from this way. See, it's not straight up like a right angle. It's 91 degrees. Or it could also range to a straight line, which measures 180 degrees. So now once we get to here, we have to learn how to use a protractor. So this is a protractor. So learning how to use it isn't as hard as you can think. So let's go back down here and let's start finding out which of these angles are which. So we're going to start off with this angle right here. So when we use a protractor, there is a line. You can see this black line right here. You want to line up this line, this black line, with this line right here. And this little hole right here, as you can see, you want to line up this hole on the vertex, or where two lines meet, which would be this kind of edge right here. So we're going to line up this, and we're going to line this up on our vertex. Alright, so now we have lined it up. So in this instance, sometimes you might want to use a ruler to make a straight line. It's going to make it more efficient. But yeah, so on. So basically now we are going to measure our angle. So as you can see, our line right here, it's spanning out all the way to here. So if we keep on carrying on this line, it's going to span out to here. Okay? And because we're starting from here and then going this way, we're going to follow this middle one right here. Okay? Because we're starting right here, we're not just going to go from 180 and down. We want to start from small to getting bigger. So we're going to use this inside one. So we're going to go all the way here until we find where our line meets, which is right here, which is 110 degrees. So that means this angle measures 110 degrees. And if we go back to our notes up here, well, which one can measure 110 degrees? Well, that's an obtuse angle because 110 lies in between 91 and 180. So then down here, this angle is considered obtuse. So we're going to put our O. Our next one is this angle. If you just look at this angle, you could probably infer what it is, but for now, we're just going to measure it. So remember, we want to line up our black line with this line. We want to put our circle on our vertex. And because our line is starting here, we're not going to go from 180 down. We want to start from the lowest. So we're going to go from 10 all the way to here. So as we can see, our line stops right here. It's at our edge. It's kind of hard to see, but if you look deeper at it, because we're using our outside, we lie at about 15 degrees. So this is equal to 15 degrees. Now, if we look at what types of angles that we have, which one aligns with 15 degrees? Well, that would be our acute angle, because 15 is in between 1 degree and 89 degrees. So we would just put an A for acute right here. Our last one, we're going to measure it. So for this one, just so you guys know, you can either measure it on any line. You can measure it on this line or this line. It's not going to matter. But for now, because it's right there, we're going to turn our paper towards us, so we're going to be able to measure it. So we want to put our dot on our vertex. Right here's our vertex. Because we carry this on, we're just going to erase that, but right here is our vertex. So we're going to want to put that there. I'm going to measure on this line. Alright, so because we're starting here, we want to start from the inside because we want to go from down to up. So now we see our line carries on to right here. And then that angle right here, it's about like a 67, 68 degrees. So we're just going to label it 68 degrees. So that one's 68. So which angle does a 68 degree angle line up in between? Well, if you look up here, it's our acute angle because 68 lines in between 1 degree and 89. So that would be an acute angle. So then you get AO. But I know what you're thinking. Well, shouldn't there be a right angle in here? Well, the directions say label it if it's that degree. It doesn't say that each shape is going to have each of these numbers. So, not numbers, each of these angles. So basically any shape could have any angle. It doesn't say in the directions that the shapes have to have each angle. So we're good. So lastly, this angle measures 110 degrees, so it's obtuse. This one is 15 degrees, so it's acute. This one's 68 degrees, so it's acute. And that is how you figure it out. For more math lessons, just text me at, my number. And that was Morgan. See you tomorrow.